local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello and welcome to Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. That is a live shot from our Mary Hill camera there of the downtown Vancouver waterfront. And it is really, really nice outside right now. So I'm sure a lot of you are out there watching us right now on the app, because obviously that's the best thing to be doing. So thank you for joining us. You can live stream us on Facebook, YouTube, website, or the app, as I mentioned. So definitely download that. And, we get to have a lot of conversations here on this show. And sometimes we even leave this studio. And that's what we did yesterday. We headed downtown to actually Old Town Portland to talk to, as it says on there, Old Town Pizza. It has been there for 50 years, right there in the heart of downtown. A really incredible story just to be there that long, really historic building. And obviously, there's some issues that have been associated with downtown Portland. I don't think we need to go into those, but we do bring up some of those struggles in this interview that we're going to have, which is with the owner, Adam Milne. Really incredible guy. Really happy that he was able to have us come down there and talk to him about this. And I think this is really interesting just to learn about somebody who's followed their passion and not created, but bought into a business that is a passion. You'll hear about that. And then on top of that, the optimism that he really does have. And it was really some great takeaways from this. So I don't want to put words in his mouth. We interviewed him. Let's go ahead and run that right now. Here it is, Adam from Old Town Pizza. Adam, we are here behind the bar at Old Town Pizza, which I got to say is amazing.
Thank you.
And, 50 years of being here. Now, I know you are the owner. I'm going to guess you weren't the original owner 50 years ago. I mean, that's an assumption.
I would have been 3 years old, so
yeah.
Good assumption.
Good assumption.
Yeah.
But I mean, to have this building here, or have this business here this long, in this specific part of Portland, really Old Town Portland. Can you tell us a little bit about the history that you know?
Yeah, so the history started when I was really young. I would go to Old Town Pizza as a kid. I had my 9th birthday party at Old Town Pizza.
Wow.
I had my 30th birthday at Old Town Pizza, so I was just a super fan. And I was reading in the Oregonian that there was a restaurant for sale, and I knew immediately by the way they described it with all of the antiques that it was Old Town. And I just didn't want it to go away. So I leveraged everything, bought the restaurant 22 years ago. And have since just been doing everything possible to keep the legacy of the place alive, which was very difficult during the pandemic. We were closed for about 15 months, but we're back. We're starting to gain some strength, and the fact that we have made it a half a century just makes me feel really proud.
Right. I mean, a half a century, and you've had almost half of that half century.
Yeah.
And going back to when you were a kid, knowing that you wanted to be here. So what is it about this place that's so special to you?
Gosh, it is really hard to put your finger on. I think, a lot of people will just walk in the door and they'll just go, oh my gosh, this place is really cool. I think part of it is the East Coast has a lot of architectural history, and Portland just is a newer city, and you walk in the door and it feels like you've walked through a time machine. And everything is just so authentic. And aside from the building, I mean, it's the food that brings people back. Our pizza is incredible. I think, back in the 70s, you had a lot of chain pizza, and this was one of the first, authentic Italian pizza restaurants.
Yeah.
And with all that time and all these people coming through, a lot of memories were formed. I love hearing people talk about they went on their first date with their spouse. They brought their kids here. There's kids that come and bring their kids. It's just multi-generational. So it just, I just feel like it's a fabric of a lot of Portlanders. Mm-hmm. And, like I said, I just am so honored to be a part of it.
Well, you talked about, the legacy of this and just being here for so long. So for you to now be the proprietor of it, I mean, what is it, how does it feel for you to have those people walk in the door here and see this and experience it the way you experience it?
It is something that warms my heart. Before this, I was in, advertising and had a corporate job. And when you work for a company, you don't get to, you're making a product, but you don't really see it being appreciated and used. And, when you run a restaurant or a retail shop, you get to see it through people's, eyes and emotions, what it means to them. And so, yeah, it's been just incredible.
Well, for 50 years here and, to still be open and running post-COVID, all of that's happened, and some of the other things that are going on in the city. You see a lot of places that are closing, especially downtown. and you see a lot of chain restaurants and things coming in as well. So
Exactly.
for you, what are some of the challenges that you've had to stay open during this time?
I think, one has been COVID. I call it, a lot of it was a perception, because where, the protests happened were really far away, but, national media painted Portland as a very dangerous place. There are a lot of Portlanders that would receive phone calls from family members making sure they were okay. And so I think a lot of people just abandoned downtown for safety reasons. Tourists decided, hey, this year I'm not coming to Portland. So it was incredibly difficult. The day before we closed, we had $18.75 in sales, and we had a few people on staff and just couldn't make it. We have had a lot of office people that have left, either Zooming from home or moving. Some of the offices have moved out of Portland, so that has been really challenging. Downtown Portland is an ecosystem in my mind, and so you have offices and shops and dry cleaners and restaurants all working together, but when a key piece of that leaves, like offices or tourism, it really, really hurts us. And so, it took us 15 months to come back. We're not where we were pre-COVID, but a lot of us really love this city, and we love independent businesses being a part of the fabric of this city. So we're completely dedicated to, making it through it.
I mean, I got to say, with all those different challenges that you're going through, something that stands out to me is you seem hopeful.
I am. I'm a natural optimist. And so I think it is, it would be easy for me to list the problems with, and challenges with having a business in downtown Portland. That's not really going to do anything. I want to be part of the positive change, and I do think it will happen, but it's going to take like-minded people to come together and rebuild the city.
Well, looking at it, 50 years now, what makes you excited and enthusiastic for the next 50 years of Old Town Pizza?
I think that one of the things that we've added when we came back out of the pandemic is some of the tour companies went out of business. So we now do these underground tours, and we're bringing a lot of people to downtown Portland, and it really works well with what we're doing up, above the ground. So they'll go underneath the ground. We have almost 15,000 square feet down there, which you're going to see pretty soon.
Yes.
It's really cool. It's one of a kind. They do a beer tasting down there with our craft beer, and then they come up here, and we give them a chip where they can get get a pint, and they'll have some pizza, they'll stay in the neighborhood, and I feel like, we're building a reason to come to downtown Portland. And there are businesses around us like Darcel's, CC Slaughter's, Society Hotel, Dixie Tavern, Huber's, Mother's. Like, these are independent restaurants, bars, businesses, and I'm starting to see that, we're creating a critical mass of development, economic development, and giving people a reason to be entertained downtown.
I love it. So all of that working together, everybody, the community coming together.
It's amazing how much these small businesses have come together, and that, you say hopeful. I just had a meeting with some of those neighbors that I was telling you about. That feeling of camaraderie amongst neighborhood businesses just feels really good.
And I think finally, for anybody out there who maybe hasn't been to Old Town Pizza or hasn't been to downtown in a while, what would you say to them to come out here and grab a slice and a beer here?
You can't recreate this. This is authentic, historic Portland. You have, employees that love downtown Portland. You have the architecture. You have just the entrepreneurship. There's an electricity here, and I think if people came down, they would feel that and see that, and then they can be a part of rebuilding our city.
I love it. Well, and it's really good pizza, I'm just going to say. So I've had that. So I think we're going to try some of that and go maybe take a look at the Shanghai tunnels.
I think you should.
I'm looking forward to it. Well, Adam, thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right. So again, thank you to Adam and everybody there at Old Town Pizza for having us come down. I mean, really interesting story there, and it's kind of inspiring to hear about all of those businesses working together as well. And bottom line, congratulations for 50 years for some delicious pizza and beer. I will say that they have down there at Old Town Pizza. A huge thank you to Jack, Nor, and Zifan, who came down and helped shoot that and edit that and get that out for everybody. So it's a team effort here at Fox 12 Now. So I appreciate all of you. Now, one thing he did mention in there was talking about those tours that they have that go from Old Town Pizza. We went on one of those tours. So upcoming next week, I think, we're going to be sharing our tour of the Shanghai Tunnel underneath Old Town Pizza. It was interesting. It was very dark. It was a little bit scary in parts. And we're going to share all of that with you and a little bit more of the history. So that's an upcoming segment of Fox 12 Now. So keep your eye out for that. And of course, you can find all of our segments on the Fox 12 Oregon app. It's a great way to watch everything that we have going on here. And you just click on that Fox 12 Now tab and then boom, there you go. But we're also on Facebook, YouTube, the website. So plenty of places to find us and watch this show. So we do have more that happens on the app itself. So if you're watching on social media, you're going to see this video end. I will be back at 1:30 p.m. live with Eric Goranson from Around the House Northwest. I'm having trouble saying that today. Around the House Northwest, who's going to be joining to talk about smart home tech and how you can upgrade your smart home. Some really interesting things that he's going to have. I always love hearing about tech and how it can help you out. And of course, we'll get a preview of this week's episode of Around the House Northwest. But that's it for right now. If you're on the app, stick with me. I'll be right back here in just a minute. So just keep on watching. If you're on social media, good time to download the app. Otherwise, I'll see everybody right back here at 1:30 p.m. with more Fox 12 Now.